And who? You add
Gabrielle Union.
Gabrielle Union.
I mean, she old enough though, right?
Like, you know they're gonna try to make ass be a teenager. So
I'm a cheerleading coach.
Man, this next story is crazy. This is Luther Vandross's beef with En Vogue, which I'd heard about just only from maybe En Vogue's perspective, but this is interesting given the totality of the story. So here we go.
Call the cops on En Vogue. From the moment Vandross elected En Vogue as the opening act for a leg of his 1993 Never Let Go tour, the flags, the red flags, turned what was intended to be a 5-month engagement into 2 months of hell. From Luther's perspective, En Vogue were still wet behind the ears as it pertains to business, despite them coming off the release of their second multi-platinum album. The contract presented to the ladies had countless restrictions, all of which Luther sat down and expressed to them before they even signed anything, because he ran his show a very specific way, down to the smallest of detail. One of the restrictions was that the ladies could not wear any primary colors or sequins. The reason for this was that Vandross put an emphasis on the aesthetic of his background singers. I mean, I've never seen any background singers dressed this sharp, and he did not want En Vogue clashing with their costumes. The ladies initially agreed to this, but later complained that the restriction restricted their costume options. They'd sometimes sneak color or sequins to see if Luther would notice. Luther, frustrated, used this example. If Frank Sinatra were the star, and Luther were opening on his tour, and he saw a rack with a suit and a sweater, and Frank Sinatra chose the suit, Luther said he would gladly take the sweater. In other words, the star should get preference. Then there was the stage, which was round and had a revolving ring. And although Luther's band was on the floor, En Vogue's band were positioned along that revolving ring for their set. And again, the ladies agreed to this initially, but later took issue with the fact that the band's placement interfered with the audience's view, because a few times throughout the set, this revolving ring would come around and obstruct your view for a few seconds. But Luther didn't see this grievance important enough to change, so he didn't. In response, the ladies began apologizing to media and audiences about this, stating that the circumstances were out of their control, alluding to Luther Vandross, kind of making it a bigger situation than it was. Then musicians began coming to Luther because they're getting fired by En Vogue in exchange for backing tracks and more space on stage. A full band got down to 3 members opting for backing tracks instead. So Luther is like, no, I'm paying y'all $50K a night, and part of that agreement is to have a full band, not backing tracks. Give me and my audience what we're paying for. He was so sick of En Vogue breaching contract and making subliminals about him in public that for a specific concert, he barred them from getting in. But luckily they came to a resolve in time for the show. But the last straw was the dressing room situation.
This is our dressing room. This is Luther Vandross' dressing room. This is the stage.
Wow.
He doesn't want us to pass his dressing room to go to the stage.
That's crazy.
He wants us to drive all the way around the venue and walk to the stage.
Mind you, Sydney is pregnant at this time, so on one specific night, they take the easiest route instead of the route written in their contract. One thing I can say about brother, he wrote everything in that contract. And do you know when he saw their asses walking past his dressing room door, he called the cops on them? Cops got there heated that they came all that way for something so petty. And that was the point of no return. From that moment, tensions were high leading up to En Vogue and Luther getting into a sprawl and them leaving their 5-month engagement 2 months in. They were upset Luther offered what they felt was a shitty contract, and he was like, I didn't make y'all sign it, the fuck? Which Dawn admits is true. They needed the money. They signed a contract that they knew had a bunch of restrictions, but they assumed that Luther wouldn't be so literal with it. All right, if you made it this far, comment this emoji.
I kind of wish Luther was still alive to be like, see, the reason was.
Luther was, man, he need to be on Divas Atlanta or Divas LA or one of them shows where it's a Divas out.
Yeah, he was a diva. He's like Luther. What I say? The other day I said that BB Winans was a church queen, and so and Luther Vandross was a queen as well. Like, sorry, he just was the. If you didn't know, I mean, the sparkly suits told you a lot anyway. Like, not saying that grown men can't wear sequins and glitter, but yeah. So there's that. That was absolute diva. it's just pure diva. Like it's bad diva. It's not the good diva.
It's not like, oh, it's kind of like she a boss or
Right.
he's a boss.
I understand having things in the contract. I fully get that. But you have essentially, again, you're preventing them from being able, I mean, even with the color schemes, right? Like, okay, don't wear primary color, or don't wear sequins and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, all right. But then with the band and the stage situation and the fact that you have a band obstructing the view of them, that's not fair. That's trash. Like,
yeah.
And then for them, like, okay, well, how about we just don't do the band and we'll just have a track playing, and that way we can. That's how we resolve that. And he gets an attitude about it. And the fact that this nigga called the police because they walked past his dressing room.
Not the stadium security, the
Not
police.
You didn't call security. You called the police because people walk past your dressing room. You got your fucking nerve. Like, really? Like, again, Luther was a very big star. We love his songs, and Here and Now was the soundtrack at weddings for a very, very long time. But how dare you? Like, it's like you making that, like, I can't walk past your dressing room
to get to where I gotta go.
To get to where I gotta go, I can't walk past your dressing room. Okay.
Yeah, that's super ridiculous. Like the dress I get, but everything else was ridiculous. Like you said, Stacey. Like,
no, like, watch this. Write this down. You will come back to your dressing room and won't be no dressing room fucking with me. I will light this shit on. I will knock all this shit over. Like, that is my middle name. Knock all this shit over. I will.
Like, why would, like, that ain't, like to think that someone human, like, I need to get in the car and drive all the way around the stadium to come in another part. Don't it, like, why would I even want to do that to somebody?
Why would
imagine him telling Kiki Wyatt that. You know she got the shank on her.
Bruh. Like, it's no, absolutely not. It's just unreasonable. Like, that's all that is. It's just completely unreasonable. Again, I understand contracts, and I mean, and to be fair, he was smart to put everything in the contract, right? He was extremely smart to do that. But the other reality is, if they were new to the industry, right? That's their first tour. They're opening up. They don't
know.
Like, so even if you're reading all of that and you're reading about the color schemes and all of that, right? You haven't picked out your wardrobe yet. So it's okay, well, fine, whatever. And we're going to have this revolving stage, and that's where the band is going to be. Oh, okay, that's fine. But when you're actually in it and you're starting to experience it, it's like, okay, wait, well, now we can't, our wardrobe options are limited. Wait, the fans can't even see us on stage. So yeah, them being like, okay, well, they're trying to change things. And it's not like, oh, we disagree with the contract, but it's the reality of now that you're a part of it, you're just like, wait a minute, this isn't going to work. We need to make some changes. And him being not willing, I'm assuming unwilling to make any changes because it's my show and you bitches, look, I'm Harold Melvin and you bitches are the Blue Notes.
They came to see me. Y'all just
looking at the dates. I think this is the Power of Love tour. This is the 91-92 tour. I'm assuming this is this tour.
Mm-hmm.
Because En Vogue could run their own tour right after this. They didn't need to be on Luther's tour for his 93 tour. So it's got to be 91-92 tour then.
Yeah, because that's when they was going off that first album.
Yeah, they just dropped, but I'm saying, but after 91-92, En Vogue can do their own tours. Like, why would I be opening up for Luther at that point?
Yeah, after what was the song when they redid the Aretha Franklin, giving him something he could feel.
Yep.
Yeah. But then, well, no, the sequin dresses are from. No, that's the first song. From
Hold on.
There's a picture that's in my head. Picture they just showed, and I'm like, wait a minute, what song is that? What video is that?
Hold on.
That's Hold On. Okay, because Give Them Say You Feel is the red dresses in the nightclub. Yeah. They were part. Yeah, they were part of the Never Let Me Go tour.
Never Let Me Go tour. What you still now? I'm looking on. Oh wow, so that's 93, 94 then. I thought the En Vogue could run their own tour in 93, 94. Why would they need to open up for Luther Vandross in 93, 94? They was already big. That's interesting.
Were they doing stadiums or theaters? I'm guessing
They were doing stadiums.
Stadiums. So they would have came to the arena.
And then the Luther, wait a minute, the demands of him. The incident was also noted in his 2004 biography, Luther, The Life and Longing of Luther Vandross. So he actually he mentioned it. Now I don't know what he said, but it just says that he mentions the incident. Yeah.
Now, this may not be the best of the Luther albums, for that tour, but the people on it, he got Tuatha AG, who is on Juicy Fruit, and part of M2 May, Lisa Fisher, Sissy Houston, Whitney Houston, all of them singing background on that album.
Damn.
And it's not even one of the best Luther albums.
What was the singles off that album?
I'm like, what's on there?
Little Miracles Happen Every Day and Heaven Knows.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think he dropped the Christmas album after that.
After that, he dropped the songs. Was after that. Oh no, that was the greatest hits. You know, I think Luther didn't drop nothing officially for a minute.
Take You Out.
Love was the next one. That was in '96.
Secret Love.
Yep, that was '96.
Okay, then after that, what? Take You Out.
Yeah, I think that's got to be 2000 or so.
That was like 2001.
Yeah, so Never Let Me Go. So to support his platinum selling album, Never Let Me Go. 5-month tour started September the 8th in Houston, Texas, to November the 18th in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and then later went to Europe in late November.
He had another album in '98 called I Know. 98 that didn't have, it had 2 singles, I Know, and then Nights in Harlem.
I know.
Look was out here being just not. He wasn't trying to be on tour. He just wanted somebody. You could just hire somebody in every city, random groups in every city, and if you wanted to be like that.
Yeah, get your local.
Okay. Let's look at it figuratively. Let's see how many cities y'all think Luther did. What 30 cities y'all thinking? And if it's international, 50.
Yeah, something like that.
And they're paying them $50,000 a night. I'm assuming the band gonna get 20, right? 15 to 20, right? Of that 50. I'm assuming it goes to the band, right? And then your manager, all of them gonna get their piece, and then they gotta break that down 4 ways after that. So really, En Vogue really only splitting $5,000 a night each. Now, keep inflation involved with that. That's the early '90s. $5,000, you get you a small little Beamer back then. a night.
Get you a little Suzuki.
Yeah, a little Buick. Not even Beamer, y'all. Before somebody be like, you can't get no Beamer for $5,000. I mean, like a little Buick, nice little Buick.
Let me say this: remember, I just called it the platinum selling album. It did go platinum. That's it, just $1 million. So it's like to call it that. It's like, but I think it went platinum because it was Luther. And more than so, and also, people
just bought it because it's Luther. You thinking like I just mess with Luther.
I think that if there was a time when, sometimes it kind of still happens. You drop an album, you'd go on tour, right? Album tour. Don't matter what the album did, you're going on tour. So I think that's just it. So right, the album before that, he goes on tour. That's Power of Love. This album, he goes on tour, and you don't even have to you don't have to worry about your new shit on this album because you still got all your other shit that you can perform.
Right. You still want to come and see that.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So he would have went platinum because he's Luther, right? Period. So people gonna go out and buy the album or whatever. So, and again, maybe those songs, like I said, I'm not familiar with them off the top of my head.
So
But
now that I think about it, yeah, Luther was coming. He was on tour like every other year. I remember my mom going getting drunk.
And I mean, but it was like that though. That's what people did. You release an album, you're going on tour. Like as soon as the album drops, everybody's like, when is the tour happening? So this was his first studio album not to debut at #1 on the R&B charts. So, but I don't know, maybe he already felt a certain way about the album not doing that well, but again, you already have this huge catalog of everything else that you had just done in the 80s and early 90s and Power Love. So on this tour, you can perform all that shit. You ain't got to perform shit from this album and be straight.
I was like, hey, y'all want to hear a little melody of my new album and just do that real quick just to get people to want to buy. I got
something new for y'all.
Right, something new for you. And it's that reality. No one goes to a concert to hear your new shit. Okay? We came to hear everything else. Now, if it is an album that's been out for a second or whatever, right, and we fucking with it, but I don't want to hear what you got coming up next. I needed some time to digest it, and being in a concert setting is not the time for me to hear your new shit.
I will say Jay Electronica exhibit A and B at the Nas show made me go download it after that.
Yeah.
That's one of the few times though.
It's not impossible. If anything, it makes you go listen to something, right? It makes you be like, oh, well, hold on, let me go see what this person is about. But if you want me to really absorb it, like, and then
I need to do it on my own
concert setting, I'm not gonna, because one, I wasn't expecting to hear something new. I was ready for the other songs. So now I gotta okay, I'm trying to listen to the beat, I'm trying to get the words, everybody else around me confused and shit. It's just too much happening for me to fully grasp what you're doing.
Hey, this cool ass Scott from the I Love 90s Music Podcast. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like it on the SOLC Network. You finna get all the real deal on the 90s, the 2000s, and the splash of that 80s. Do it right now, man, and I'll be your friend.